Welcome to this video. We will now create our Angular service for authorization. Now, inside of your client app folder, open the source folder and click on the app folder. So we want to create a new directory inside of that app folder. Right click on it and add a new folder and call it auth. Make sure in Angular it's all lowercase, so simply call it auth. Now select that folder, right click, open in terminal. So we want to generate a component inside of so we want to generate a service inside of that auth. So we want to generate a new service inside of that new folder. We can do that by using a command called ng angular g generate s service, and let's call it auth. Simply hit enter. Now you can see that two new files got created. In the auth folder, we got the auth service spec.ts and the auth service.ts. Now let's go into that service. So open the folder and go to auth service.typescript. Let's first of all create an interface for a possible user. So go ahead, create an interface. Let's call it user, and right now it only consists of a string called email. Now inside of that auth service here, we can write down under the constructor. You can even remove it if you like, but I will keep it. We can go ahead and create a field, current user of type user. Now we make that nullable or set it to optional being undefined, because sometimes a user may not be logged in. So we need to take care about that. Let's go ahead and write a simple method right here. Let's call it login user, and it's taking a user as a parameter for sure. And we will now set the current user, which is this field here, this dot current user, to the user from the parameter. Now we can also send in some logs, so console.log for us to make it visible. Log in the user with email, and then we can simply go ahead and use user.email. Now just to make that clear, our user is not really registering an account, right? So he will just come to that page where he wants to book a flight, and then he will have to provide some details like, okay, this is my email, this is my name, and he's good to go. So he doesn't set a password, he has no email confirmation or whatever. It's just for us to track the data of which person has booked the flight. Now, why did we decide to do it that way? It's pretty simple. Authorization, authentication, and real SQL, well, permanent or persistent data storage, is a huge topic itself, right? So we decided to split that up into another follow-up challenge, because in this challenge we really want to focus on front-end and back-end development and how you can connect them both together. However, from the structure on that we are building here, you can in the end just go ahead, use that interface, extend it by a password for example, and then really register a client, if you like, or user inside of a real database, right? So the structure in the end will be the same, but it will be more advanced. Now we need to call that login user method from anywhere, right? So we will call that for sure once the user or passenger registers. So we're gonna switch over to our register passenger page here, go right into the TypeScript component. Scroll a little bit down, you can see subscribing here, right? So here we got the register passenger, right? This fills out the form, or here are the form informations like email, pre-name, and last name. And after subscribing, we want to log in the user, form posted to server, right? We can confirm that that worked. So we go ahead, and instead of console logging that, we will simply go ahead and call our auth service. Now, we don't have it inside of this component right here. So first of all, we will go ahead and use it here. Import auth service from auth service. There we go. Now we can use it inside of this component. We only need to get it into the constructor, private auth service. There we go. And now we use it here inside of the subscribe call. So this auth service dot login user, and we can submit an object for sure. And since the user interface that we have created only consists of an email address, we can simply go ahead and take this .form.get email. And we need to make a null check. And if we have the email field, we can take the value. We just add another brace here. There we go. And now we can start our application. Now, once the application is loaded and you visit Register Passenger page again and fill out the form and click on Login, we can see log in the user with email jl@tutorials-eu.com. So our call on our new service is working. If not, we would not be able to see this here, and you can see the origin is set to auth service.typescript, right? So it's really referencing the correct script. Now we want to extend that just with a single call. So here inside the auth service, after the login user method call, add a comma, and then switch to the next line of code. And this is for error logging, like in every subscribe call that we did so far, right? So the first parameter is, well, what you want to do once you have that subscribe call coming in. And the second parameter is the error handling. And we want to log all of the, well, error messages inside of the console. So we simply say log them as errors into the console. Great. Okay, so if something goes wrong, we should now see in the console an error message appearing. And now we need to proceed and take care about some more information, right? So what, for example, if the passenger is already existing? And for sure, we also have to take care about when we want to display that registration page, right? Because right now there is no navigation to it and we really have to manually visit the page. We actually need to make that page working. We need to display it when we have no user, well, sort of signed in at the moment. And we need to handle what happens if we already have a user registered with that account. Let's proceed with that implementation in the next video.